Director of the Institute for Aboriginal Health here at the University of British Columbia. Besides being the Director of the Institute for Aboriginal Health in the community, I do a lot of service to the community. One of the services I do is birth. I deliver children. You could say I'm a midwife, traditional Aboriginal birth. I'm also a person that helps people when they leave this world. That's also birthing. Death is the other side of life. Death is the other side of the coin of midwifery. Can't really understand birth without understanding death. Nor can you understand death without understanding birth. So it's been my lot in life to be with many elders when they pass from this world. Many times in their homes, but sometimes in palliative care. I don't know if you know much about palliative care, but it's probably not what you expected to be hearing about this morning. But the point I'm making is this. I believe that Mother Earth is in palliative care. What happens in palliative care when a person is in the last days of their life? Their temperature elevates. The body warms up, trying to fight the disease, making a last-ditch stand. With Mother Earth, we call that global warming. Mother Earth is heating up. She's making her last-ditch stand to try to save her life. What the human beings have done upon her. Many times, men with a full head of hair, in the days before they pass, the hair falls out. With Mother Earth, that's the death of the trees. I heard on TV that 95% of the elms on the east coast of Canada are dead from disease. If you drive up into Coquihalla towards Vernon, where I live when I'm not here, as far as you can see, the trees are dead. The hair of Mother Earth is dying and falling out. And then sometimes, in the last minute of a person's life, their body begins to shake as they begin that last ditch attempt in the liver and the kidneys to try to live a few more minutes. In our native prophecies, we're told that there will come a time that a house will be placed in the sky with no connection to the earth. Today we call that the International Space Platform. There's a Canadian up there. He's on TV every night talking about how neat it is to be floating in space, not realizing that he is a fulfillment of a prophecy that talks about a great change coming upon the earth, the shaking of Mother Earth, because we've taken too much. And in our native prophecies, we were also taught that at this time there'd be an attempt to take the last little bit, and that's Bill C-45. The attempt to take the last little bit, especially the last little bit that native people have. What's killing Mother Earth? What's killing Mother Earth is a disease of greed. It is a cancer disease. Any of you that know anything about a medical health system, the human body is, know that if there's a growth that keeps increasing in the human body, you got a problem. You've got hopefully a cyst that has to be moved, and at worst you may have a cancer. Any infinite growth in a finite system is a cancer. And yet, what does every politician say? We need growth. Well, we need more jobs. Our economy is going to grow. Growth is death in a finite system. Most native people know, and that's a dangerous statement to make. I can't speak for all native people. I can't even speak for my own family most of the time. But anyway, many native people understand that the only thing to do when you're living in a finite system is strengthen the system. When Columbus came here to this land, this system was strong. There were old growth trees all over here. They're gone now because somebody thought you could cut them down and create growth. But you do not create life and sustainability by destroying the finite system that you're in. There used to be a salmon stream right here. 23 salmon streams across this area that's now called the University of British Columbia. All of them are gone except for the one that runs to the Musqueam Nation, and God bless them for having enough respect for the salmon people to maintain that one stream, and that's been a fight. People dumping chemicals in it and all that kind of stuff, all have no respect in the name of growth. The only wise thing to do when you're in a finite system is strengthen the system. This system was so strong when Vancouver landed here, the salmon pushed each other out on to the banks of the Fraser River. I mean, it was full of salmon. I mean, they couldn't all get up the river. The resource had been strengthened, and it only took about 80 years for the people that believe in growth, financed with the illusion of growth, financed with debt. And now that the salmon are gone, and the trees are gone, and a lot of the oil and timber and everything else in this province is gone, what we have left is the debt. I heard people talking on TV about how, Chief Spence and other chiefs can't manage their money. 2 days ago on TV, they said that our province of Alberta, the richest province in this country, is going to have a shortfall of $6 billion this year. Well, they just can't manage the money. They're stealing so much. Tar sands the size of France. And yet they can't hold the money because it's a fundamental law of the universe that when you give, you receive. And when you steal, you lose. So I'm sharing a concept here. And you know what a person in palliative care wants? They don't want you to come in and say, hey, buddy, next week we're going to be out golfing. Because that ain't true. You're going to get better. No, that ain't true. He's going to die. What they want is honesty. They want someone to come in the room and say, brother, I can help you make a change of worlds. It's time for you to go. You're going now. Your family has gathered. This is it. They want honesty and truth. That's what Mother Earth wants right now. She don't want a bunch of environmentalists running around saying because you got a green garbage can, you're going to save the earth. That ain't going to happen. The shaking is coming. What we need to do is prepare for that shaking. We need honesty. And honesty in this society is hard to get. Really hard to get. It's so rare that when you are honest, they think you're lying. I want to share, I'm not going to read my complete 45-page speech, but I want to share a poem. One of the prophecies that we have as a people is that we would lose almost everything. We would become downtrodden. We would become beggars in our own land, and that has happened. But the other half of the prophecy is we will become strong again. The prophecies say we will be stronger than we were before. And if you have any idea of how strong Native nations once were, that's a powerful statement. And I believe that I Don't Know More is a significant turning point in our movement towards re-strengthening ourselves and standing up for the environment. We've been through some hard times. So here's a poem I wrote on the internet. Hello, my relatives. Out of a time of smallpox, sickness, death, and despair, we as a people have regained our health. Out of a time of educational oppression, residential schools, and the denial of the validity of our own knowledge, which happens here at UBC quite a bit, and the denial of the wisdom of our elders, we as a people have become educated in more ways than one to validate our knowledge, our indigenous science, to validate our indigenous voice, our indigenous place in this society, to come out of the margins of a time of shame and ridicule and well, they say whenever the cry of truth is raised, so is a cry of denial. So there's always forces against you. Right in the middle of my poem. Out of a time of shame and ridicule and John Wayne movies and countless put-downs and invalidations, we as a people have regained our pride, asserted our dignity, whether this society respects us or not. Out of a time of being weakened, imprisoned, addicted, drug. We as a people have regained our strength. We as a, what? We as a people have regained our strength, our pride, our education, and our health. We as a people have regained our strength, and with this renewed strength, pride, education, and health, we will idle no more. We will idle no more. We were idle no more. It's time for us to become the grandparents of this land again. We made agreements, treaties, to share this land with you. We gave you half. People think the government gives Indians a lot of things. We gave you everything you have in this land. Every job you have, every dollar you've ever made, we gave you half, but you took more than half. 0.3% of British Columbia is First Nations land. Not 40%, not 30%, not even 1%. The disease of greed, the cancer of the earth, took 99%. In the federal budget this year, the Native people get less than 0.5% of the federal budget. And we share that with environmental departments and several other departments. Less than 0.5%. It's time to think about the Bolt decision in Washington State that said the Native people have a right to half. We're happy to share this with you, but where's our half? Where's our half of British Columbia? Where's our half of everything in this land? Where's our half of Parliament? Where the Native people sitting there should be 50-50. We want in the door. We're willing to share this with you. That's an amazing thing. Despite the things that we've been through, despite the bounty system that hunted us as animals. You know, it was not long ago, you could kill me and be paid £100 sterling. Despite the laws that forbid us to go to college, forbid us to hire a lawyer, forbidden us to form an organization. Up until recently, we couldn't do any of these things. We have never forgotten you. You go to any ceremony across this land this coming summer, and there will be a white flag and white prayer and prayers for the white people. There will be a black flag and prayers for the black people. There will be a yellow flag and prayers for our Asian brothers and sisters. We've never let go of the idea that all human beings are human beings, that all human beings are worthy of being loved and cared for. We're willing to share this land with you. But right now, last night, there were children, Native children in this land, freezing to death in houses, starving to death, while truck after truck after truck takes timber and coal and oil and everything else out of their tribal territories, and that's not right. It's simply not right. Canada is the best country on the earth based on the oppression of Native people, and that is a shame unto itself. A shame unto itself. It's terrible what's happening here. The average house in this area is worth $10.5 million. We got 22 new houses sitting in Attawapiskat that nobody can move into because the government can't decide whether the province or the feds are going to pay the delivery charge. While across the street, children are freezing to death in a shack because of the regulation and the oppression of the Indian Apartheid Act. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about, the Indian Apartheid Act. Yes, that's what I said. The Apartheid Act of South Africa was the Indian Act of Canada, almost word for word. Many Canadians spoke up against apartheid in Canada. I don't imagine too many of you are for reinstating apartheid in Canada, but nobody will speak up against apartheid here. We were supposed to be sharing this country, not pushed to the margins of this country. And here at UBC too, we're in the margins. We're in the corners of the budgets. We're as special programs. There should never be a special Native program. Is a program that should have been there 100 years ago. Nothing special about it. Should be there. In the margins, and we're coming out of the margins. I Don't Know More is coming out of the margins. One more thing I'm going to read. Well, I'm on a roll. If I can find it. This is what I wrote today on my Facebook. I Don't Know More is a spirit that has touched the hearts of the downtrodden and colonized. It's a spirit that has crossed the land seeking those that still know connection, whose hearts still have the purity to know with the knowledge of the heart, to see with the eye of the heart, to feel with the touch of the heart, and sing and dance with joy and exultation. All my relations.